Thank you and welcome. I'm here with Alif Muhammad, who is the president of the Alif Muhammad's NIA School. Many people are not familiar with the concept of the alternative in relationship to education in our communities. And there are a number of different activities that are going on that are relevant towards giving people an opportunity for choice. And the advantage is to have alternatives that are successful. The NIA School is a very successful school located centrally in downtown Newark. And, Brother Muhammad has been very, more so of a pioneer in relationship to finding ways in which education can be a fun way to learn, and you can exceed the expectations from it because of the relationship that you put into it.
Right.
And Alif, I guess obviously it's a personal relationship that spawned the opportunity for the NIA School. Share with us kind of the history of the NIA School.
Okay, Herb, thanks for inviting me now. It's good to sit down with you. The NIA School started in 1995 as a non-public school, or should you call a private school. First it was an Islamic school from 95 to 97. Then we changed the format because I wasn't happy with just trying to serve the Islamic community. I wanted to serve everybody, and we changed the format to a pre-K to the 12th grade. And at that point, the school grew to 500 to 600 kids from all over the greater Essex County area. And then in 2000, we turned it into mainly an at-risk high school to give kids an opportunity to earn their high school diploma. Since the inception of NIA School, we already had 4,000 students enrolled, and at least 1,000 has went on to higher education. But the big thing also, Herb, what I want to tell you about, in the last 4 years, NIA has developed into a basketball powerhouse, a national basketball powerhouse called NIA Prep. And we, last year we were rated number 6 in the ESPN, and we were number 1 in prep in New Jersey last year. But the good thing is that a lot of the students are from out of state. The basketball players, they live here now in Irvington. They're housed in Irvington. They live in a house in the Southwater, Irvington, and we practice at the Gatlin Gym. So again, going back to the NIA School, NIA, since Mayor Wayne Smith has been the mayor, we have really worked hard with it. Some of the best players that ever came out of Irvington High School, from Nate Robinson, who played for the Giants. He was the first big recruit. He was helped by NIA School, all the way to Josh Evans now that's on the University of Florida. So a lot of the kids that you see that play football, which you had the great teams up here in the years, NIA worked in conjunction with Irvington High in order to get them into the higher the scholarships. Then also NIA is like you said, is an alternative for Irvington High students. Say if, for instance, you don't pass your HESPA. In the state of New Jersey, private schools are not required to take the HESPA. So you'll meet all the requirements, but if you don't pass the HESPA one part, you can't graduate from a public school. So a lot of kids come from Irvington, they come down, and then you have a lot of adults coming down from Irvington, because what happened, I had an Irvington student that graduated, I think it was 1999, and then his mother came back and graduated 2002.
Really?
And now she's a registered nurse.
How about that?
So we got a lot of history up here in Irvington.
Well, that's really a lot that we can really cover now in relationship to hearing that it really started out as a religious institution.
Correct.
And in this day and age, when you hear about an Islamic religious institution, immediately there is this withdrawal, there is this neglect of saying that the fact is that they are not really doing positive things.
Correct.
You now have shown that it isn't really about the kinds of, I would say, negative activities that have been brought to the religious community to say that everybody is like that. I guess it's the bias and the demolishing effects of discrimination.
Well, like you say, you do have that bias. And it reminds me of a former assistant superintendent of Newark. And a lot of students were coming there for summer school, coming in there for summer school. And some of the guidance counselors were uncomfortable. And he made a big speech. He said, you have no problem with the kids going to Catholic schools, but you got a problem with them going to Islamic school. And a lot of people didn't know they had their little bias and everything in there and stuff. But education, if you're really going to do it right, is very difficult to actually call it a religious school. I mean, even a Seton Hall. Seton Hall is a Catholic school, but it's really just regular secular school. Georgetown, which my son went to. It's a Catholic school, but it's really a secular school. Notre Dame, even the great Notre Dame now, it's just a secular school, so it's kind of hard. You could bring the religious flavor and everything, but you know, it's basically if you're going to get a kid prepared to accomplish, to go on to life in the higher education, you have to really just stick with the academics, and all the biases have to fall out.
Well, but I don't want to negate the fact that the influences of the religion is something that has been very powerful.
Well, because you have all the rumors, and then when you meet a guy like me that came from Newark, grew up in Newark just like the mayor, and you know, became very successful as a business person first, and then you find out he's just a regular guy.
Right.
He's a regular guy. He talks the same way. He likes rap music just like everybody else.
But has a positive image and a reflection on what you are doing. It's not about giving back anymore. It's about really getting in and doing it.
Correct.
You know?
Correct, because that's the easy way is to give back.
Yeah.
You know, my past friend, Butch Lewis, has just passed. And I used to always tell him, I said, you guys are all up in the White Tower. It's nice what you guys, Bob Johnson and Denzel Washington, are doing. But you guys on the White, once you get in this, you can't get out of it, because you'll see how much work had to be done. You know, so it's that's a good analogy. It's easy to say, because I was the same way. I'm making $1 million a year, whatever your program is I'm giving. But once you get in it and you see the work that has to be done, it's kind of hard to walk away from it.
Let's talk about the academics of the school as well, the potential in regard to an individual really excelling into the mainstream of career motives. Now, is it all really about come to this school to get a degree so that you can go work for somebody?
No, it's the concept is, the question after I interview a parent, I really like to talk to the student. And the whole concept is you got to go on a higher education. 40 years ago, when I came out of high school, you could have a high school diploma. Now, you got to have a college degree, you know? So our curriculum is set up with an AP outline. So when we teach world history, we don't teach world history like a regular high school. We teach it like they would teach it in History 101 in college. So you'll hear the language. Or we teach psychology like a 101, so you hear the language and everything. And then a lot of times the kids like, wow, I did more work here than I ever did anywhere else, because what we do is we're really teaching them to move on to the next step. You know, if a student comes to me and say, well, I want to come to your school, I've been having problems, but I want to get a job, that turns me off. You know, you have to tell me, well, I'm going to go on to higher education. And we're realistic. You know, I mean, if you come to tell me that you're an at-risk student and now you're going to Harvard, I have to tell you, you might have to walk by it, you know. But we can get you in Essex County, we can get you in Keene, we can get you in Rutgers. And of course, the historical black schools are fantastic. You know, I mean, some of the most at-risk students I ever had, once they went into a black historical college, became different people. Different the experience,
in terms of the influence,
because they found out that the kids are the same in Philadelphia, D.C., Baltimore, and everything else. You know, so you're not embarrassed that that you have some deficiencies and stuff, and they build up. They they get you a solid foundation. Next thing you know, I have a kid right now that I graduated at 16 years old that's in the Delaware State that was at risk at Westside High School, but they were going to arrest his mother for not coming to school. Wow. Now he's back from Delaware State. He's a teacher at my school.
Oh, wow.
You know?
You know, it's interesting because I tell my kids, you know, they say, Dad, you know, you're doing really good and you don't have a college degree. And I says, yeah, but I'm working hard to try to find that. The reason why I didn't have that time because I was so busy out here trying to make sure you got yours.
Right.
I said, but, you know, the reality is that a lot of youth believe that you can still be able to make it, especially because we have a lot of successful entrepreneurs and entertainers that did not stay into the mainstream. But the fact of the matter, it's the social environment as well to help bring about that kind of change in your lifestyle, and that you can understand how lifestyles are reflective in other areas of our country. When we think about the relationship that you have been able to develop in regard to the numbers, you know, you started out with a few hundred, now you have a few thousand. Right. Are you still located downtown?
We're located downtown Newark. What we're trying to do is we're trying to move to the next level now. The concept is, on my desk I've been having a college application. So we're talking about going to a 4-year, we're moving it from high school into a 4-year college, more what they call a proprietary college. A proprietary college is like Berkeley and DeVry and everything, where a kid could get their high school diploma and they can move right on to our college.
Okay.
And then we're talking about making Newark our campus. more like an NYU situation where buildings over here, buildings over there, buildings over there. So that's where we're moving to. That's where we're moving to, because every year I graduate 100, 150 kids, and they go on to other colleges. So now we're going to try to really turn it up a little bit.
The definition between a college and a university, what are the differences?
The colleges, mainly is undergrad, was associated or baccalaureate, where a university defers master's degree to doctorate degrees. So we'll just start at the associates to the baccalaureate, but the master's degrees that'll come later. That's what makes you university. That's why Montclair now is called Montclair University.
And I kind of really, a number of things that I also noticed that when you have your colleges, most of the colleges are built by department. You have a department of sociology, department of human resources. But when it comes to a university, you have actual colleges within the college, that environment also. And so and that's what gives the elevation of the new potential of the different levels of educational, higher educational.
Like when my son went to Georgetown, at 15 years old, you think he just went to Georgetown, but he went to Georgetown, liberal arts of Georgetown. You have about 4 or 5 different schools within Georgetown.
Exactly.
Within Georgetown.
And unfortunately, and it's really good that we can kind of like sit here and talk about those things. My son was fortunate enough this year to successfully get out of Penn State. And looking at it from that perspective, he was in the School of Communications and the different ways in which we effectively notice that even in Essex County College, you still can find the kind of potential that you need in order to excel in a lifestyle that's going to be.
You have great examples out of there. Our old friend that passed, William Mann.
Yeah. Came
out of Weequahic High School, got a little lost in life, went to Essex County, ended up in Cornell. End up a lawyer, judged by here fame, Clarence fame. Same thing. Come out of Barringer, messed up in life. Went to Essex County, Rutgers Law School, Rutgers Law. Now he's sitting in municipal court, and so a lot of times you're trying to lean people toward the county system because it don't cost you anything. You follow me? It doesn't cost you anything. So and then they have these partnerships with King now and Rutgers. So that's a good way to go. What they call it a backdoor way in. But what we try to do at NIA is push you to higher education. Push you to higher education. Let you see the world. Let you see other people. Let you meet other people. Let you go to another state and everything. Get that experience and find out it's just not about Essex County. Because once they make that move, the transformation comes in and stuff. It comes in. You meet a guy from California. You meet this dude. And it becomes life experience, and it makes you grow. And then a lot of them, when they come back bringing something.
Now, they say that there aren't any restrictions. Anyone from anywhere can really come and apply for the school?
Yes. Matter of fact, my valedictorian for, I think, 2007 was a 47-year-old woman.
Wow.
47-year-old woman.
That's phenomenal that you happen to open the door for anyone. Continuing education.
Yes.
Education, basically, somebody can come right out of the public school into your school and graduate there as a potential of being able, because your son was a student at your school, correct?
Yes.
And at 15 years old, he graduated onto Georgia. How's he doing now?
He's fine. I think he was going to be a lawyer. Now I think he's some type of theater. He's doing production.
Okay. Yeah.
But
a number of them
but remarkable young man.
Yeah, and what's important about that is that they can see the value of spreading the message and getting opportunity to share the knowledge that's in our environments. And many things like we say, I was talking to, we have the Freedom School that's going on over at Metropolitan, and one of the kids said, all the kids, I asked them, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they says, I want to be a basketball player, I want to be a baseball player, I want to be a football player. They all wanted to be athletically inclined. And it wasn't like to say, to discourage you, say, no, you can't do that. It's like, you need some math.
You got to get the college.
You got to understand.
You got to get in there. You can be the best basketball player in the world,
but you better understand that the basics of the reality behind your reality is going to come from what you learn in these educational institutions. And let's make that the major priority. If anyone really wanted to be excited enough to see if they can participate in your educational environment, how might they acquire that?
You call us. The name of the school is Alif Muhammad NiaSchool. We're located downtown Newark in the Robert Treat Hotel Center. You just Google us or whatever. Hit us up. We have a website.
Because you have a curriculum.
Yes. And everything is on the website. Call us, and if anything we could do, if you can't make it in public school, You come see me, and I guarantee that we'll get you through.
Alternative education is certainly going to be a way in which we're going to find an opportunity to build our communities. As a grassroots advocate, as someone who has been part of the relationship of the paradigm of failure and have shown that you can be successful, this is something that I highly recommend that you participate in, especially if you're looking for a new opportunity. Thank you very much, Ali.
Thank you, brother.
I really appreciate it.
Okay.
You know, it's always good to see you.
Good to see you too,
All
brother.
right. Thank
All right.
you.